when their guy plays some games. Alright, hi everybody, Weather Guy here. We are back with some more gosh darn great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Feeling great. We are going through Summation Examination once again in this fifth case, the Unspeakable Story. And we're gonna see why everybody thinks that we're guilty once again, exactly, and then we're gonna try to find differences between them, you know? Oh, I forgot to turn the light on. Oh, Nikes. That's okay. It's daytime, it's not too bad. Maybe I should open up the window. Let's open up the window. Yeah, get some light in here. Oh, it's so bright. Oh. I'm a little cave goblin. Oh, that actually hurts my eyes. Never mind. We're switching back. I'm sorry. I should have been more prepared. Should have been. Alright. Focus. Once a rogue, always a rogue, I say. Different breed to us law-abiding citizens. As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say the whole case is done and dusted. Okay. You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Every which way you look at it, it was that pickpocket. Okay. I never imagined that simple operation will cause me such grief. That's so funny. That guy lost his scalpel inside the patient. The accused attempted a theft on the previous day. I can see I'm in for a busy day ahead. I am ballistics expert. I have seen many shootings. There is nothing I do not know about guns. Interesting. It would seem there is little remaining room for doubt. I have to admit I was rather bowled over by the argument put forward by the chap in black. But when that fell apart like a house of cards, I saw that I'd jolly well been hoodwinked. I can never get this guy's voice consistent, it's crazy. Well, no more. The whole courtroom is turning against me. It's not fair. Iris? That prosecutor is being mean. Oh boy, like that's against the rules. Just because Ginny's done something she shouldn't have done in the past, that doesn't make her a murderer. So true. Very correct. Allow me to savor this fruity vintage while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debate on the matter. Here's to the truth coming out eventually. Oh man. That's enough preamble. Counsel, proceed with the summation examination. Slap. There we go. Yes, my lord. We'll see how this goes. Jury examination. The defense's rebuttal. Alright, let's start pressing. Hold it! Press, everybody. Just because Miss Lestrade has a history of pickpocketing, she must be guilty of murder? Is that what you're saying? Well... Are all members of the British Army so quick to judge? I beg your pardon. Are you mocking Her Majesty's Armed Forces, the greatest military organization in the world? No, I'm simply illustrating my point. Making assumptions about people because they're a soldier or a pickpocket is wrong and dangerous. Well, yes, might have a point there, I suppose. But let's not forget the girl had already shown she had it in her from before. She's clearly a criminal sort through and through. Can't deny it. You say that she'd shown she had it in her. You referring to this? Exactly. Tried to swipe that only a day earlier, Or am I mistaken? Not exactly. That I was actually there at the time, it's hard to refute that. I've actually seen the real thing. I can't wait to have a closer look at it. Oh yes, of course. We already looked at the blood, didn't we? Mr. Sholmes did use his caramel bars to make a copy of the disc, didn't he? And then ordered every type of music box he could find from across Europe. Maybe we're going to hear what's on the music disc at some point soon. We still don't know what tune it plays though, do we? It's gotta be a message, not a tune, you know? But I don't know how that would work. But I'd love to see how the original compares to Hurley's copy. Gilda's disc. Could it be a clue somehow? Perhaps we should examine it in more detail. We did. It had blood on it. I forget whose blood. I think it was... Let me double check before I speak out of turn. It had the mystery green blood on it. Yeah. Which means it's not Windibank's and it's not... It's presumably going to be Sholmes's, but we don't know that for certain yet.
Hold it!
It's the number of bullets that has you convinced? Only 2 bullets were fired, and the 2 guns that fired them have been examined by the police. When the parlor maid asks me how many are invited for dinner, I always tell her to count the table settings. Well, that's logical, I suppose. Although... Yes? Sometimes after dining, crockery does go missing. 1 or 2 guests rather like the fine china. Does your employer dine with thieves? So I suppose... If there was another bullet somewhere of which we were unaware, I'd have to reconsider my position. A 3rd bullet somewhere on the scene? Could that be possible? I don't know if we can prove it, but we can try. Oh, shoot! Oh, no! Every time it gives you a suggestion, like a choice, I always choose the thing that would be probably more favorable for me, you know? Without really thinking about it. And they totally called my bluff on this. I was like, I have no idea where a 3rd bullet would be, you know? And sure enough, as soon as I hit the button, they're like, where's the 3rd bullet, Buster? It's not here. Not gonna be here. Bullet there. Bullet on the disc. Not a bullet on the disc, but paint. Blood, rather. Pawnbroker's ticket. Has, whatchamacallit. Has whatchamacallit's blood on it. The Mason, right? Yeah. Okay. Manuscript. Not useful currently. McGilded case notes, probably not useful currently. For this. Yeah. Okay. Today's paper. Nothing in here that would be useful. Autopsy report. Single bullet wound. Okay. Crime scene. Single bullet hole. Great. Plans for the room. Nothing useful here as far as I can tell. Gun. Evidence that it only fired 1 bullet. So I think there would have to be a 3rd gun. 3rd weapon. Photograph of Gina. I'm curious if these are actually the same weapons. They look the same, but what if they weren't? You know? They definitely look the same. This one bullet. Post-shooting photograph. Don't see any bullet holes anywhere. They would have presumably come up by now anyway, right? Stereoscope. No bullet holes in the stereoscope. Music box disc. No bullet holes here either. But we're gonna try it. I don't suppose this would pass as a 3rd bullet. Oh no. Oh no, I just screwed up big time. In no way does it resemble a bullet, if that helps your understanding of my last remark. Here it comes. I was so stupid and foolish. I didn't have a third bullet. Why did I think I would have a third bullet? I screwed up. We're gonna have to go back through again like last time. Not as much though, but still. Unfortunate for us. You know? My mistake. My big mistake.
Guilty.
Yeah, I'm nervous because I'm expecting a phone call, so I keep checking my phone to see if I get the phone call. I don't know when I'm expecting it though either. I just know that sometime in the afternoon. And right now it's 3 o'clock their time, so we'll see. We shall see what happens with that. You'll know if it happens because there will be an abrupt cut. And I'll put the intermission music in, which I love to do. But that may not happen. It might be in the next video, who knows, because I'm planning on recording this and then one more after this. So we'll see. Retry from the scene. Good news is when you retry, you get all your strikes back, you know? That makes things a little better. Alright. Oh, press. So we're not that as far back as I thought. Go and skip through this stuff about him just assuming too much. This case is quite complicated, honestly. There's a lot of moving parts going on at this point in the game. But I suppose that makes sense because this is like the final case of this first game, you know? So it would make sense that it would have the most complexities to deal with and a lot of mysteries still untold and things like that. We already examined the disc. Alright, this is where we were at.
Hold it.
Press her, and this time we're just gonna say there's only 2 bullets. And we're gonna hope that's enough, you know? But it seems like it's steering you towards saying there's a bullet missing, you know? Unfortunately, only 2 bullets were discovered by the police during their investigation. Yes, I know. Right. And I don't imagine the good men in Scotland Yard would have overlooked anything. If I missed a bullet while I was cleaning his lordship's office, well, I should receive a sound scolding, I don't doubt. And he should receive a visit from the police, perhaps. Sounds like a crime scene to me. A third bullet. Would completely turn things around if there was one, wouldn't it? Do you think we might find one lying around somewhere? Gosh, there must be another bullet somewhere and I just don't realize it. Look at the court record again. Let me look at the photograph here. Is there a bullet somewhere? Somewhere else? Don't see one. Let me look at these photos. Probably not that one. But in this one, let me double check if there's a bullet anywhere. I don't think there is. I thought I saw something, but it's just a smudge on my screen.
Hold it.
So if I've understood correctly, you need 2 pictures, a left eye one and a slightly different right eye one. Exactly. Then you can see the scene in 3 dimensions, like this. So if we have 2 bullets, I don't suppose you can see anything useful with them. I think you'll find that no matter how much you squint, the truth of the situation always looks the same here. The only person who could have shot the victim is that girl in the dock. How can you be so sure of that? Think about it. The Skulkin brothers shot the great detective, didn't they? Yes, that's been mentioned once or twice. Well then, surely it's coming into focus now, isn't it? This is a waste of time. I'm not gonna change this man's mind anytime soon.
Hold it!
Would you please stop muttering about things that have nothing to do with the trial, sir? The defendant's life is on the line here.
Well, thing is, I couldn't really say that has nothing to do with this trial, to be honest.
Huh?
I mean, there's no question that the man was shot, but the bullet had simply vanished from his stomach. It's quite inexplicable, don't you think?
Oh yeah. I almost don't want to ask, but this surgery you've been muttering about all this time. You were oh my god! Oh my goodness! It was him! He was operating on Windibank? That's hilarious.
What was the fellow's name? No? Hurlich? No. Herlock? No.
Sherlock Sholmes.
Herlock?
Sherlock Sholmes by any chance?
Yes, good lord.
I mean, that makes sense because Windibank was dead, so why would you be doing surgery on Windibank?
It was that Herlock fellow.
What? You're the surgeon that operated on Mr. Sholmes?
That's right. Using the very latest anesthesia techniques, I might add, it was a fairly major op, I can tell you.
This is crazy.
Let me see. The fellow was brought in not long after midnight, if I remember correctly. They said he'd been shot by some criminal order, so I opened him up like a shot. The funny thing is, I looked over his inside with a fine-tooth comb and couldn't find the bullet anywhere. So I'm afraid I had to throw up my hands and just stitch the fellow back up.
I hate to state the obvious, but...
Yes?
I mean, his bullet ended up in the calendar, did it not? Surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting.
The counsel for the defense is correct, as is clearly shown in this photographic print.
The bullet that Skulkin Brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes hit him in the stomach region, then exited his body and lodged into the shop wall where the calendar was hanging by the door. You know, I'm beginning to think, actually, that this is not Sholmes' blood. Because there has to be another twist involving this at some point, and it would also be weird for his blood to be on the disc too, so I think that this is actually someone else's blood, and it's going to open things up. I think you'll find it's really quite simple if you just consider the problem three-dimensionally.
Well, what do you think I am, son?
Oh, well, juror number 4 is about the best I can do.
As soon as I saw the wound to the man's stomach, I flipped him over.
Like a pancake? Are you saying that he checked his back? Oh, does he not have an exit wound?
Of course I did, and there wasn't a trace of injury. No sign that the bullet had left the body at all.
So they shot him, take the bullet out, then shoot again? But everybody was there, and they left right after. You know? What?
That's the point. The only logical conclusion was that the bullet was still somewhere in the man's innards. Which is exactly why I said about slicing him up. I'm still none the wiser even now. How many times do I have to say it? Can somebody please explain how it happened? Can somebody please solve the mystery?
It's almost as much of a mystery as how this jury was put together. Interesting. Can I press him on this again now? Mr. Sholmes, the surgeon, is on the jury? I've experienced some coincidences recently, but this is ridiculous.
I'm as surprised as anyone.
There's no question that Mr. Sholmes was shot?
Well, that was what the police told me when they brought him in.
How bad were his injuries, Doctor?
He was in a bad way. He lost a huge amount of blood, you know. I suspect he was shot at quite close range, too, because the skin was badly burnt around the point of injury.
Burns?
As I said, flipped the fellow over and examined his back, but there was no sign of an exit wound. Which is why I thought I'd better locate the lug and pop it out.
Yet you say you found no bullet inside the patient?
Well, I wouldn't have done, would I? Because it's in the wall of the pawnbrokers.
Okay, new theory. He wasn't shot at all. He was hit with something else. You know?
But how did it get there? I needed someone to solve this mystery before driving me to insanity. Only there's some expert in ballistics who could help, even if he looked extremely untrustworthy.
Oh, the Russian. I'm assuming, yeah, because the Russian said he's an expert on it. So let me go ahead and do the pit for that.
Objection.
Those two statements clearly contradict the idea that all I do is pit jurors against each other.
Ooh, a ballistics expert.
Pitting. P-I-T-T. On the night in question, Mr. Sholmes was shot by one of the Skulkin brothers. Since there was no sign of an accident wound on his back, we must assume the bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found in Mr. Sholmes' body either. Furthermore, a bullet was found lodged in the wall of the shop where Mr. Sholmes was shot. Juror number 6.
Hello, my name is Villain. Pleased to meet you.
This apparent contradiction in the facts that is so clearly troubling juror number 4. Are you able to explain the mystery?
I have seen very similar situation in Motherland. It was night. There was blizzard. I was running away along Mountain Road in freezing cold. Holy! The snow was piling high on both sides of the road. It was very narrow and dangerous. My pursuers had hunting rifles and they were on dog sleds.
Mental note, don't ask too many questions.
I was shot from behind and I fell down in snow. And this situation was very similar to what I hear today from doctor. They could not find bullet in my body and no sign of, how do you say, exit wound.
Then where did the bullet go?
Bullet never hit me. Well, if it never hit you, why did you fall down?
Sorry, that's so stupid.
Bullet hit frozen wall of ice very close to my side.
What?
One small piece, very sharp, broke away from lump of ice and pierced my body.
That explains something. Do you know what that explains? Let me show you. Look. Ba-na-na-na-na. Glass is broken. But here, glass is there. Shard must have hit Sholmes at some point. That would explain it, I think. It made deep wound that looks just like bullet wound.
Good gracious.
Of course, piece of ice quickly melted inside me. And that is solution to mystery of disappearing bullet.
Well, but that doesn't answer the question at all.
Hmm?
The shooting happened in a pawnbroker shop. Not some snowy mountain road in little country.
Just an idea, but we might not be looking at exactly the same scenario here. Where exactly was Hurley shot again? Well, according to the report, in his stomach. Sort of around this area, I think. Well, that's precisely where he always wears a little pouch on his belt. Pouch? Actually, I might have noticed something like that. Yes, a pouch. It's where he keeps 3 glass vials of very dangerous chemicals that he uses in an investigation. Oh, we had that mentioned at some point. I think. What? Really? Doctor, where is the pouch Mr. Sholmes was wearing?
Well, the fellow had nothing like that on his person when he arrived at the hospital, as far as I remember.
If I may. Lord Van Zeeks? While I realize it is forbidden for the prosecution to interject during a summation examination, I should inform the defense that I have the pouch in question in the antechamber outside the courtroom. Sorry? As I understand it, when the police arrived on the scene and found Mr. Sholmes injured, they removed the pouch in order to assess the wound.
Oh, thank you, goodness. I thought I was getting forgetful for a moment.
Since then, it has been in my safekeeping along with all other evidence relating to the case. I can personally vouch for the fact that it has not been touched since the incident occurred.
Very well. While the extremely unconventional during a summation examination, I must demand the prosecution presents the item in question with all speed. Bring forth Sherlock Holmes's pouch.
Let's look at this thing.
I see. So this is a pouch worn by Mr. Sholmes on the night in question, is it?
Look at that. One of the files is broken and the leather around it is scorched black. It's almost as if the file exploded.
Exploded?
So that night, the bullet from the Skulkin Brothers gun struck Mr. Sholmes' pouch.
And it was the glass file exploding that caused the fellow's injury.
This bullet did not penetrate victim, but was deflected into wall of shop. I don't understand how this will actually help us though, you know what I mean? A delightfully complex aroma.
Well, it would appear one mystery has been solved at least.
Though it has no bearing on the truth of this case. The bungling and burgling brothers shot the detective, and the accused shot the pawnbroker. The pertinent facts of the case remain unaltered.
But at least the mystery is solved. I can sleep easy tonight. Thank you, young man.
Thank you very much. Glad I could help.
Due to its bearing on the conundrum just solved, the court will sequester the scruffy pouch as evidence.
At least pouch isn't scruffy. Alright, let's look at it one more time. Let's look at it. Pow pow pow. It's really scorched badly just here. Oh, the strap is broken. Look! This must be where the bullet hit then. Let me see. Oh my god, the bullet is still there? Oh, baby! Oh, baby! Let's go! Sorry. What the iris? Look! Behind where the broken file was, do you see it? Ah, that's Skulkin Brothers' bullet! What a stroke of luck that it hit his pouch! This is an amazing discovery! What this means is, there were 3 bullets fired at Windibanks that night. We found exactly what that juror was talking about! The 3rd bullet! It's time to press that juror again, I think. Let's frickin' go! Progress has been made. You can see the dents and stuff over here too. Oh look, there's a hole there at the back. Doesn't look much like a bullet hole, but clearly something's ripped through the leather with great force. Must have been in the vial. Something must have pierced it somehow to left this hole behind. Yes, it looks that way. Mr. Sholmes and his pouch both took a beating, didn't they? Perfect. Perfect.
Now, the summation examination. It would appear the defense is somewhat struggling to alter opinion,
Please, my lord. A little more time. After all, that's a new piece of evidence. Could be a valuable clue, and you can't afford to overlook anything here, Ryu. There's still a way to turn this around somehow. I'm sure of it.
Hold it!
We got it. We frickin' got it. That's good progress. I can't believe there's another bullet. Pow, pow, pow.
Take that!
Here it is. We discovered it just now. Yes, on the night in question in Windenbank's pawnbrokery, another bullet was fired.
Hold it!
What is this new trickery, you Nipponese conjurer? Where did you find that bullet? It was lodged inside Mr. Sholmes' pouch. What? This pouch was removed from around Mr. Sholmes' waist before he was taken to hospital. Since then, it has been touched by no one.
Do you mean to say the shot fired by the Skulkin brothers that night?
Yes, as your lordship has surmised, it hit this pouch.
But that makes no sense whatsoever. We already know the whereabouts of the bullet fired at Mr. Sholmes. It's clearly visible in this photographic print.
Ah! 2 guns from the scene have already been submitted into the court record as evidence.
Yes, that of Mr. Windenbank and that belonging to the Skulkin brothers.
An examination of both guns revealed that only a single bullet had been fired from each. But that must mean... Third gun, baby. That's right. We now know that on the night in question, 3 bullets were fired. However, only 2 bullets were fired from the guns recovered from the crime scene. And until that incontrovertible inconsistency is somehow explained, we cannot and must not pass judgment. Ah. Oh, we got him good there. He doesn't have a counterpoint yet.
Order, order, order. While this summation examination remains incomplete, the court has been presented with new facts. Facts that would appear to shake the very foundations upon which the case against the defendant has been built. As is my prerogative in this situation, I hereby temporarily suspend the summation examination.
By Jupiter! What?
Bailiff, bring the witnesses back to the stand at once.
Let's go. Let's go. We're gonna have to do more testimony.
Witnesses,
Governor?
were you listening to proceedings while the defense carried out the summation examination?
We was, Governor, we was. Perhaps we can dispense with the tedious preamble. Simply answer this one question. A third bullet has been identified at the scene of the crime. What do you make of that? Make of it, Gov? I don't make nothing of nothing if I can help it. Is it one of yours? Gor blimey, Gov, gor blimey, not a chance. In that case, did you have an accomplice? What? What? Never! The Skulkin brothers work alone. It's just the 2 of us, that's our trademark. How soon we forget poor Sulky. That's funny. Only 2 of the bullets from the crime scene originated from the firearms we have in evidence. The 3rd bullet was fired from another gun. Where is it? Lummy, that's an head scratcher.
Counsel for the defense.
Yes?
I should like to hear your thoughts regarding these new developments. The 3rd bullet and the mysterious missing firearm from whence it came.
Thinking back over all the testimony we've heard and all the evidence we've seen, I think I'm starting to form a picture of what really happened that night. And another gun! Or a secret accomplice, but I think another gun is more likely. And that night at Windenbank's pawnbrokery, the brothers must have been in possession of another gun. We know that only 1 bullet was fired from each of the 2 firearms already in the court record. The logical conclusion, therefore, is that the brothers were working with an accomplice. An accomplice who was carrying a gun. Oh, so we could have picked both answers. Perfect.
An accomplice, you say? Pig's will.
These protracted proceedings have already forced us to endure 2 summation examinations. Yet in all that time there has been not a murmur of a 3rd man. If this apparently wraith-like being exists, the court must be shown hard evidence. Without it, this fantasy will be crushed. The prosecution demands answers on 2 counts. Firstly, proof, evidence that this accomplice was ever at the scene of the crime. Secondly, the identity of this spurious character. Skulkins are lying, I know that. But how can I ascertain the identity of the person they're hiding?
Well, Counsel,
I'm supposed to prove the existence of this accomplice and reveal the person's identity, even... Unable. Defense is... unable to complete a sentence, it would seem. Much less provide any credible answers here.
yes, it would appear so.
Very well, this trial will now... Wait! Please!
Good gracious, Counsel.
I have to keep the momentum going here. Can't give up now. This is just like scientific research if you ask me. Sorry? When you start doubting yourself and thinking you can't possibly work something out, you become blind. Even though in truth the answer you're looking for is right there in front of you. The answer is right here in front of me. My lord, actually the defense would like to present answers to the questions posed by the prosecution.
Hold it!
So, my Nipponese friend, despite the swimming eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. But your earlier tongue-tied display will not go unpunished. Boo! I wish I bit my tongue instead of speaking before I'd made up my mind. Hurt less.
In that case, Counsel, I would ask you to present the evidence without delay. On the night in question, and the moments leading up to the death of the victim.
Oh, man. What evidence? What evidence? The third bullet, that's the evidence.
Take that!
The evidence is this. No. Boo. I should have known. Clearly that would have sufficed originally if that was the case, but I'm at a loss of what it could be. I didn't even think there was a third shooter till the game told me there was. I thought it was just two. Each of the Skulkin brothers had a weapon, which would make perfect sense. Alright. Let's try again. Let's try again. Huh. Oh, that's curious. What if it's just Gina? Gina is a third person.
Take that!
Oh, I failed again. Oh, I was kind of confident on that one, honestly. I was like, what if Gina actually was working with him? Dang it. I'm feeling. But there's only so many mistakes I can make, you know? We still have unidentified blood. We don't know whose blood it is, though, on the calendar. It could be Sholmes', but we don't have proof of that. Let's try that.
Take that!
The evidence is right here, in this portfolio. There we go.
By Jove, that portfolio again, is it?
Do you expect the court to rifle through your papers itself? Be more specific. Okay. This one, right?
Take that!
What am I looking at here? There appears to be some green paint or such like around the bullet hole in the middle of the calendar.
That's a bloodstain, my lord.
A bloodstain?
Green blood, curious even for you. Is the court to understand that the intruder was some inhuman creature? It's something developed by Mr. Herlock Sholmes. By the great detective. New invention, stop. Not yet appeared in stories, stop. It's this, you see. It doesn't have a name yet, though. This fogger sprays a chemical that reacts with the different elements of people's blood to change its color.
Different elements of people's blood?
Yes, everyone's blood is slightly different, you see, because it's made up of different elements. So by seeing what color it changes to, you can tell in a flash whose blood it is. Oh, that brings us a whole extra dimension of looking at blood. Talk of blood in courtroom, stop. Very exciting, stop. I'm making her almost sound like a Dalek from Doctor Who. As an example, this one shows the blood of the victim, Mr. Windibank.
Oh, striking blue. Beautiful.
Yeah, so you see, the green color of this bloodstain on the calendar shows that somebody else was shot in the main part of the shop. Now hold fire there, young man. Could be from some unrelated incident, couldn't it? No, that's not unrelated. The date showing on the calendar is the date on which Mr. Windibank was killed.
By golly.
Therefore, we can assume that whoever was shot on the same day.
Then whose blood was it?
Well, the Skulkin brothers in the stand don't appear to be suffering from any gunshot injuries. Which means it must be the blood of somebody else. The third intruder, in fact.
Objection!
Whose identity the court is still waiting to hear. You can't delay this any longer, my learned friend. Who is this alleged third intruder? She didn't get shot. You know? I'm thinking about going with Eggert Benedict.
Take that!
The man's name is Eggert Benedict.
Egbert Benedict? Who on earth are you talking about, cousin?
He paid a visit to Windibank's pawnbrokery on the afternoon before the incident took place. When the accused attempted to deceive the pawnbroker into releasing this article into her possession. That's right. The man identified by the defense, Mr. Eggert Benedict, then attempted to take the article from the defendant by force. Yeah, he definitely looks like a villain, huh? Definitely. 1,000,000%. He's so fabulous, doesn't he? Isn't he? He's great. Inspector Gregson was there at the time and can attest to what happened. In the end, it was the inspector himself who took the disc.
Can you corroborate this account, Inspector?
Yes, my lord. There's more or less what happened. And in the interest of being thorough, I asked Windibank for a print showing the fella. Oh, there we go, look at that! Taken from one of his red-handed recorder gubbinesses. Yes, that's him talking to Mr. Windibank that morning.
And you claim this man is the brother's accomplice?
Well, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Never seen the geezer before in me life. On me life, Gov, on me life. Never even seen him.
Well, somewhat unsurprisingly, it appears our witnesses disagree with the assertion.
I'm sure your lordship recalls my learned Nipponese friend's actual assertion, which was that he could prove the identity of the alleged accomplice. Yes, and I can. Then show us the evidence. I agree, we must see proof that the clean-cut gentleman in the photograph is the filthy criminal you say he is. Oh, this is a big moment. This is the last piece of evidence. I've had a feeling that something has been missing in this trial from the very start. But now I'm trying to drag it out, kicking and screaming into the courtroom.
Are you ready to present your answer to the court then, counsel?
Yes, my lord. The defense will present the evidence now. Do we get to do the... No. That's tough. Same blood on the disc. Let's try this.
Take that!
That sounds good. As I mentioned before, on the afternoon of the day in question, the defendant attempted, deceitfully admittedly, to reclaim this disc from Windibanks.
Which is when the aforementioned Egbert Benedict appeared on the scene, I believe. This man had then attempted to purloin the article from the defendant's possession, no?
That's correct, my lord. I myself was present at the time. It was following this that a minor incident occurred. Oh, did he get scratched and I forgot? Isn't there a scuffle that happens? Yeah! Being a music box disc, it has countless small but sharp medical protrusions over its surface. Those protrusions caused Mr. Benedict's finger to bleed. The resulting smear of blood is still visible on the disc now.
Goodness, a bloodstain, is it?
My assistant and I have just analyzed the bloodstain here in this very courtroom. Using my trusty Fokker gun. Yes, and we added the results to this portfolio. I say, it's green. Yep. The evidence is conclusive. The man calling himself Mr. Egbert Benedict, who was in Windibanks early in the day, is the accomplice who was present at the scene of the crime that same night. Let's go. So there's someone else there. Look at those two brothers now. They're sweating buckets. Boy, who are you talking about? It's boiling in here. Love that. My lord, it's the opinion of the defense that Mr. Egbert Benedict should be summoned to the courtroom to testify.
It would certainly seem that we can ill afford to ignore this gentleman's apparent presence.
Objection!
This has gone on long enough now, this flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law. Herlock Sholmes, you say? Yes, I've heard the name. The protagonist in a series of short stories for the vulgar classes. A god of detection or some such. And now you employ chemical substances devised by this fantastical persona in the highest court in the land. Do you expect us to take you seriously? The samples made by this plaything are not fit to be called evidence. So the bloodstain turned a shade of green. What of it? Here's to you successfully proving that no other blood in the world would turn the same color. Ah, well... Oh no, there's the foot. And pray, do not even think of suggesting that we should take Mr. Sholmes' word for it. Is he right? Is Mr. Sholmes' concoction a load of rubbish? Oh no, I mean, he is a great detective. What are you talking about? We can't let him get away with that. I knew it would come to this. Of course, Mr. Sholmes' invention isn't going to be recognized by any official body. But what other choice did I have? I'm just remembering what Father Christmas over there said before. About how he was temporarily suspending the summation examination. Ah, in other words, the examination isn't over yet, is it?
Good grief, what did you just say, you young girl?
And in a summation examination, the decision as to whether or not the trial continues is in the hands of the 6 jurors, isn't it? So the way I see it, it doesn't matter what certain other people think of Hurley's invention. At least, not for now. Yes, she's right.
Young lady, you have quite the devious mind.
It really just comes down to one thing. Whether these ladies and gentlemen of the jury are convinced by what you say, Ryuno. Is that about right, would you say? Or did I misunderstand something? Unbelievable. Mr. Sholm's partner is a force to be reckoned with. Harris Wilson, sharpshooter. That's great, we're doing good.
After that shrewd priestess saw the situation from an entirely unexpected source, it must be acknowledged that the previous summation examination has yet to reach its conclusion.
This is absurd.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court now looks to you for your final leanings in this matter. As proud citizens of Her Majesty's Britain, I am sure you will come to fair and just conclusions. So then, state your final decisions in turn, please.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Nice.
Guilty.
Fuck you.
Guilty.
Boo.
Not guilty.
Let's go! The trial continues. We're not giving up. We're not leaving.
2 called guilty and 4 called not guilty. Such is the outcome of the summation examination.
Objection.
My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage. The prosecution refuses to accept this decision.
On what grounds?
If these jurors are persuaded by some half-baked concoction devised by a pretender to real police work, then they are too ignorant to be trusted with the judgment of anyone's guilt.
I'm sorry, Lord Venseeks, but the outcome of the summation examination cannot be ignored. The trial will continue.
Ah, wrecked.
Nevertheless, we find ourselves in a rather awkward situation. The defense has very reasonably requested the subpoena of a new witness. But sadly, I fear that will be impossible.
What?
The name the gentleman gave for himself, Egbert Benedict, is quite clearly false.
I don't believe it. Just when I'd managed to prove the man was there that night. Could I say something?
Who was that, please? Who spoke?
It was me, my lord. Juror number 5?
What have you to say, madam?
If possible. Inspector. Me, ma'am. I wonder if you might show the photographic print to me again, the one in which the gentleman is shown. Ah, right, yes, this one you mean. Of Mr. Benedict. That's her husband. Yes, there's no doubt in my mind. Juror number 5, you don't mean to say you know this man? Yes, I know him. What?
Oh, gracious!
That's very convenient for us. And it skips over a nice loophole that would have been there, a plot hole that would have been there. You know?
Juror number 5, how on earth?
I am a communications officer. Stop. So we can clearly see. The gentleman in the photographic print is also a communications officer. Stop. He works in my office. Stop. Oh, okay. A very talented operator, in fact. Stop. He should be in the communication station now. Stop. Tapping away on the telegraph. Stop. This doesn't seem right somehow. Can't put my finger on why, but it doesn't feel right. Suppose we all imagine the accomplice would be some sort of hardened criminal. It's a bit unexpected to find out that he has a respectable job by day, whatever he gets up to at night. Yes, I suppose that's it. I suppose that's why I felt something was wrong.
If the gentleman is at London's communication station, we should be able to subpoena him within the hour. Lord Venseeks, if you please.
Yes, my lord. Make the necessary arrangements with all haste. As your lordship bids. The court will recess for 1 hour. When the new witness arrives, we shall reconvene to hear the gentleman's testimony. Inspector Rexon? Yes, my lord. I should like to hear from you specifically about events at the pawnbrokery on the day in question. Come to my chambers during the recess. Yes, sir, my lord. Very well, court is adjourned until 1:40 p.m. Great, got to be continued. Perfect. This is a lovely place to stop. Next time we're going to, presumably, dive into this witness of Egbert Benedict, whatever his real name is, see what he knows, and we're getting closer, hopefully, to proving Gina's innocence. We'll see. But that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching today. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you. You're amazing. You're awesome. You're beautiful. You're handsome. Whatever. Make sure that you take care of yourself. Make sure that you take care of others, and I will see you next time. Peace out.